Hi, everybody. Welcome. We have Vixie,
Hello.
and we have Cherry visiting with us today. Yeah,
How's everybody doing?
yeah.
Hello.
So today, I thought we'd talk about some stuff, but I also wanted to say that introduction video is so cute with the puppy. The puppy's ears now are like
Damn, he's got the
his
puppy
little
face.
head is like that, and his ears have
His
grown.
ears
like,
and his legs and his tail. That's it. His head
Yeah.
and body are still the same.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, my mom said he used to be a potato and now he's like 2.5 potatoes.
2.5
Aw.
potatoes. He is cute though. Oh, he is so cute.
Yes, he is.
Is he a terror?
Yes,
Yes.
Of course he is. He's a puppy.
yes.
Having
You
a
wanna say
puppy
hi?
for all purposes is like having a permanent 2-year-old.
Lee, no
Face
one.
in camera.
You didn't. All I saw
Hi.
was your hair.
Wow.
Face in camera.
Whoa,
There you
hello.
I don't hear anything. What doing you?
They said hi.
Oh, okay.
That was the daughter, by the way.
Yeah, that was the daughter. She's over.
You gotta love when the
she's
kids are
over
like, "What you
18.
doing, Mom? I want to know what you're doing. I want to be part of Mom,
She used
Mom,
to do
Mom."
this with us over on Lucky.
Yeah, she used to. Yeah.
She was my youngest Vixie Squad member for the longest time.
Yeah. Yep.
I wasn't going to take her at first, but she convinced me because I didn't
She
do
said,
kids.
"Look, ma'am, look."
Because you all know me. I was like, I don't want to do kids. But I knew her mom, and I was okay with that because I worry about moms. The stage moms, you know, I worry about them.
Mhm.
And I thought, okay, her I'll take. Just because she's special. Because I like her. I can sit down and talk to her.
I don't think I was too annoying.
No.
No, I
Like
wasn't
I said, you weren't a stage mom.
Yes, people. I'm still drinking coffee. I got up like an
You
hour
just
and a half
woke up.
ago. Got a
Yeah.
shower in. And had to
Yeah.
go get my laundry out of the laundry room and brought it in. And I was like, coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Coffee's good. You got your eyebrows on, so it's a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We almost didn't have cherry eyebrows for the show. It's okay though. It's not my
Oh.
show.
I
It
said,
won't
y'all
matter.
getting me plain wrapper. We have the makeup table next. So
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Remember,
As
we got to
is.
do green for cerebral palsy for
Yep.
Chrissy, which I'm absolutely going. I'm gonna look pukey.
Yeah, cerebral palsy awareness today.
Oh.
So, Liza, what you got for us today?
Well, I was going to talk about the Affordable Connectivity Program.
What is that?
It is. Do you want me to just read it? I
Yeah,
don't
go
want to
ahead.
like read it because
Just
that's
do
You
it.
can read it. You can give
horrible.
us a summary. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, Congress created the Affordable Connectivity Program. It's a long-term $14 billion program to replace the Emergency Broadband Benefit Program. Households enrolled in this program will continue to receive their current. Okay, wait. So basically, what you can get is a $30 off your monthly bill for internet.
Well, that would knock my bill down to less than $100.
Yes, but there are some
Right.
income limits.
Which I would
Yeah.
not qualify. Well, I would, but Justin wouldn't qualify for.
Let's see. Let me see what the limits are here. So they said that households have new ways to qualify for this program, such as receiving WIC benefits or having an income at or below 200% of the federal poverty guidelines.
So
And
for
we
anyone who
went-
doesn't know what WIC is, everyone should know what WIC is.
Yes.
WIC is women, infants, and children. If you are pregnant or have a child up to the age of 4. It used to be 3.
5. I thought
Oh,
it was 5.
again?
Yeah.
5?
Wasn't it? Isn't
Yeah,
it
was
because when I had
right.
my kids, it was like it was either 4 or 5.
Yeah, it keeps going.
Well, we could
So-
look that up. Maybe,
But they
find
give you
out.
assistance medically and with
They never
food
gave me
and-
medical assistance, but I had Medicaid at that point. But what they
Yeah.
did for everybody that I knew that was on it, including myself, was basically they would help with specific groceries. Like you got a check, and there was a list on that check of what groceries you could buy with it.
They're called Wic
They
checks.
can also help if you're breastfeeding. They can also help with lactation. They have lactation.
Yes, I had to use a
consultant.
lactation counselor when I was
Yeah.
with my third one, and it was very
And
nice.
if you are pumping, they can provide you with a breast
Yeah,
pump.
we had
Mm-hmm.
and
Well,
they
mine
provided
did.
me with a $500 breast pump that I
Mhm,
couldn't have afforded because the cheapy
mhm,
ones were not working.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
So
Not that I'm trying to get
Wic
off subject,
is
but
a
have
good
you seen the
program.
new breast pumps? They're like, they're not even attached. They're just like,
I
yeah,
know.
they're
a
like
little.
implants. You just put them in your
yeah,
bra.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said,
I'm
man,
thinking, I needed where were those when
right,
I needed them?
right. Now,
That would
granted,
have
I
made
couldn't
life
breastfeed when
so
I
much
was
easier.
when I had my children when they
Swear
were
'em all day.
small because I had inversion issues. But I did pump with my youngest, and I used the breast milk as a substitute for water and formula because that was when the big don't use water in your formula because your kids will drown kind of thing came out.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, oh well, we'll just put this in. Let me tell you, I had the biggest baby boy in the world.
I bet.
Mhm.
At 8 months old, he was 20 pounds.
That's a
Woo.
big boy.
Yeah.
That's a big boy.
Yeah.
Him's was big. Him's
Mine
was
were all
sturdy.
2 feet long to begin with. So
Yeah.
So they
Wow.
kept saying mine were overweight, and I'm like, you can see their ribs.
Yeah.
Right,
None
like
of
when I
mine
would
were
go in for
round.
my
They were
doctor,
long and
I would take them
tall.
in for their doctor checkups, or I would take them in for their work checkups, or whatever it was. They would always tell me that my son was too big, and I'm like, do you see his size? Do you see how tall this child is? Do you see how
Yeah.
sturdy his shoulders are? There's a reason why he's this big. He's built this big.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
overfeeding him. I'm not underfeeding him.
Right.
Crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I had to
Like a
get a
little
pass
Buddha.
for my oldest because he's built like a German
Mm-hmm.
square.
Mhm,
I had to get a note from the doctor for Wic
mhm.
telling him he is the right weight.
Yeah.
You can give
Yeah.
him food. You can-
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
my son, we had to start giving him baby cereal at 3 months old because he just was not getting enough in there.
Yeah.
Wic will also give you vouchers to go to your.
Those are what the checks are. Those are
Yeah.
they're
Well,
called
they'll also give you mine used to give me little checks to go to the fresh food giveaways, not fresh food giveaways, the Friday market.
Oh, we don't have those. I know what you're talking about, like a farmer's
markets?
market.
Yeah, the farmer market.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
We did start something new here in Florida about 10 years ago
Hmm.
where they started giving out vouchers for actually fresh fruits and vegetables, which they didn't do before. You could only do canned and frozen before.
Oh.
So that was good. I was really happy to see that. But they went
Yeah.
from you used to be able to get oatmeal, like regular oatmeal.
Yeah.
And now you can only get instant oatmeal, which I think is dumb.
Oh.
Because instant
is
oatmeal has all these
crazy.
preservatives and sugars and stuff in it
Yeah.
that I don't want. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but I want
Funny
I
thing
wanted
about
regular
that,
oatmeal.
you bring that up, and Justin was asking if we could pick up oatmeal for the truck so that he could have it on the truck. And I was like, yeah, sure. What flavor do you want? And he's like, I don't want flavor. I want regular.
You can get cups of the regular.
Yeah, no, we got cups, and I got him like the 12-pack of packets, and I set him
Okay.
up. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, do you want that 2-pound tube as well?
That's what I would do because you just add water. It's cup for cup for oatmeal in the microwave for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody can tell me they can't eat oatmeal. It's very easy to cook.
Yeah.
Take a fourth of a cup of oatmeal, put it in a bowl. Take a fourth cup of water, put it in a bowl. Put it in the microwave for 1 minute. It's cooked.
Unless your water's hotter than hell like mine is, you don't even need the microwave. I'm not even joking. My hot water melts cheese.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love oatmeal. I really do. One of my friends said she hates oatmeal because my oldest son used to eat oatmeal every day for breakfast.
Mhm.
But this is how I prepared it. I made the oatmeal, added applesauce, cinnamon and brown sugar,
Mhm.
and then sometimes I would do dried cherries in it for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people would be like, that smells really good.
It tastes really good too.
I said, take a taste. My one friend went, it tastes like Dutch apple pie.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Wow.
And there's no preservatives in it when you make it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to this program explanation. Sorry, we
Oh.
kind of diverted again.
Okay.
We do that.
I know.
Sorry.
Good thing we
Okay.
brought her up for an hour today, right?
Yep.
We might need 2 hours next. No, just kidding.
I mean, that's fine
Well, if you
too.
put us together, yeah.
Yeah, that's no shit, you guys. Come on.
Okay, so the WIC benefits, or this is qualifying for it, or have an income at or below 200% of the federal poverty guidelines. Did I already say that? I said that
Yeah.
You
already.
said that, but that's okay.
And we already went through that last show.
Yep.
Yeah.
We went through the poverty guidelines.
Yeah, if you need to know,
last show.
if you want more about that, there's some information on the last show, and also it's very easy to look up on the internet.
Yep.
Yes.
Just type in federal poverty guidelines.
And I was
2022.
actually shocked because the federal poverty line, I was like, are you serious? Like nobody
Slow.
can survive off of that.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I've got my rings.
Some people.
It's okay.
Shiny.
So households that qualify for the emergency broadband benefit due to a substantial loss of income as a result of a job loss or furlough since February 29, 2020, or by meeting the eligibility criteria for a participating provider's COVID-19 program, will need to requalify for the Affordable Connectivity Program. These households will receive additional details about the steps they need to take from the program administrator or their internet service provider in January 2022. So that already happened.
Mhm.
So I should have already been telling you guys about this.
It's okay. It's okay.
Unless you aren't, set up for this or not, or anything.
Well,
I don't
these
know.
should still be there. And you can also call 211 in your area
Yeah, 211 is a great resource.
and say, hey, do you know about this? Let me have more information about this. Well, and if they don't have information, they'll at least give you phone numbers to call.
So it says here that most households will continue to receive their benefits if they already are on this program, except instead of a $50 credit on their internet service, they'll get it $30, which
Okay.
is still,
That's still quite a bit considering.
Yeah.
I know I pay almost $100, like almost $100 a month for my internet service, and that's their top tier.
Yeah.
On their lowest tier, I was paying after taxes and whatnot, it was like $65, but the package itself was actually like $53. And we got a discount through the school because when COVID hit, that's why we ended up with Wi-Fi, because they were going to do
homeschool,
basically
virtual school.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember what it's called.
That's part of this program.
Yeah,
but the internet company was like, "Oh well, we'll give you this discount." And the funny thing is I still get the discount on my bill. My internet's just super high.
Well, once you start doing this.
Yeah, that might have something to do with it.
I know that has something to do with mine being so high.
So we went through that already. So people that are eligible for it, you have to be, the income limit or approved to receive benefits under the free and reduced price school lunch program, or received a Pell Grant. That's interesting.
Well, with Pell Grants, usually they're typically given to students who have children or dependents.
Right, right. Experience.
That's how I got mine.
Yeah.
I think my mom had one.
Meets the eligibility criteria for participating providers' existing low-income or COVID-19
so
program.
There's quite a few eligibilities. So if you think you might have a need, just call and see if you can find out anything about it, because it sounds like, especially, I know my kids get free lunches, and with that comes a lot of other stuff. Like they got free sneakers last year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They just sent them home. I'm like, where did these come from? I called the school. I'm like, there are boxes of shoes in my kids' bags. And I know my
Why?
kids don't steal because they wouldn't know what they were.
Right.
Right.
So why are the shoes in my kids' bag? Oh, those are the
Mhm.
free sneakers. I'm like,
Wow.
okay.
Well, shit, they finally, after what, 3 or 4 years, finally upgraded the kids' Chromebooks at our school.
Yeah.
And my kid came home with this new one last night, and I was like, "Wow, that's way better than that's almost like my computer over here."
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Another thing this program does is there's a link somewhere on the page where you can look for places that are giving out free computers. Um,
Hubby and I were going to do that.
yeah.
We were going to take old computers and fix them up and put Ubuntu on them.
Mm.
It was called Sunshine Program or something like that. I can't
Oh,
remember.
okay.
But
Okay.
Well, at this rate, the amount of computers that I've bought, I could probably start doing.
we were actually talking about putting the like 3 together that we have underneath his
Mhm.
desk. We probably should put all those together and see what we can come up with. Probably need to buy a new motherboard so we don't fry the one that we have though. But
Yeah.
sometimes you're doing that. You're like, I have all this pots, and if not, we should at least be able to buy it or build a nice Ubuntu one for the youngest
Right.
to stay off his father's computer.
Well, the thing about what you're talking about doing is people don't necessarily understand what Ubuntu is.
No.
And
Ubuntu,
it's go ahead.
Ubuntu is a free GUI, which is like Windows is a GUI. Apple is. Are they at? What do they use now?
They're still on Mac.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mac OS.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
No,
Last
that's
one
his
I used was
operating
Jaguar,
system.
so it's an operating system. It's called
Mhm.
a GUI interface because if you don't have in the reality, you don't have all these buttons. You have to have somebody translate it for you, and that's your GUI system.
Look, this is what I know about Apple. Don't hit Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Why, Cherry?
It
What
will.
happened?
I've never done it, but I've
It'll
heard it'll
fry
fry
your
your
system.
system. I've only ever run Ubuntu and Windows and Android. Like, yes, I have an
Ubuntu
iPhone
can
and
be
I have
put
an
on
iPad.
any system, Mac
Yeah.
or
It's not only that, but
it
it's a
just
lot
takes
different.
over.
Price wise, it's free versus what you're going to pay for a Mac OS or you're going to pay for Windows
And
systems.
it's open source, so you have people all over the world working on it to tweak it, make it better. Ubuntu, people who use
I just like the
Apple,
Penguin.
is easier for them to go to Ubuntu because it interfaces a lot like an Apple. Where things like Mint and Ice interface more like Windows. I hate Windows with a bloody passion.
She's talking about Linux systems, by the way, guys.
Those
when
are
she
Linux
refers
systems,
to
and they're
Ubuntu,
free.
she's talking about Linux.
Those are all Linux. But and Ubuntu's probably the most widely used around the world. And there's tons of things that programs that people use. Like GIMP is a photo editor that I swear by. It's better than Photoshop. And it's just a great program. There's Blender, which hubby uses to make Flip. That's a 3D generator. Pixar actually uses it. And that this free open source stuff that you can get. And it takes up a lot less room in your memory. That was the kicker for me. They don't eat up because these big corporation stuff has all this extra junk.
I do know when I first started using it, there was a learning curve to it because I grew up on Windows.
I was just going to say there's a little learning curve for Windows users.
But I mean, if
Hubby had a hard time transitioning at first.
Yeah, no, if I can use it, then anybody can use it.
But I learned Terminal before I learned working in Terminal before I learned how to use an Apple. So
So is that something that you can put on any computer?
Yep. Yeah. You can put it on any computer. There's one called Opera. I'm not sure if you can get it anymore, but it used to fit on a 3.5 disc.
I know that they actually
that would work on anything that had a 3.5 drive.
And the browser didn't go very far, but Opera did have a web browser for a long time.
So to all you children who are watching, a 3.5 drive is the save button. That's a 3.5 disc.
It's a hard disk. We used to have these things called floppy disks that were this big and had a hole in the center. You couldn't put them near a magnet, but you stuck them in your computer. And if it would tell you, much like a cassette player, you had to flip it to side B.
Yeah. Flip it to side.
So that's our tech talk for today. If you really want to tech talk
Oregon
on
Trail
here, Eliza,
on
you
an
need to
old
see about
ass
getting us on here
IBM
later.
computer in school, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah. I learned on an Osborne. If you ever want to look that up, you'll see what a dinosaur that was. It was big as a desk, and the screen was this big.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
well, Cherry and I bought some stuff to share with everybody, Eliza.
Good. What do
We
you
were
have
talking
to
about
share?
books that we read.
We brought some books, Liza.
This is my
Yay.
favoriteest book. This is my most loved copy, you can tell.
Yes.
It's my bestest friend
Yes.
ever. And she
How I feel
smells
about
good.
The Outsiders. I need to buy another copy because that is like my absolute favorite.
I was thinking about grabbing Outsiders, but mine's falling apart and I'm scared to touch it right now.
She said it's kind of fragile.
So this is my favorite, one of my favorite books. And actually, this is my favorite book probably in the entire world. Is Alice in Adventures in Wonderland. I have 14 copies of this book by different publishing houses.
Wow.
I have 3 children's copies. One is a pop-up book, and one is
It's the other one, a picture book.
yeah. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. And then I have one that an artist, a different artist did, and it's all very Art Nouveau. It's beautiful pictures.
Nice.
And I have a I can't remember what they're called.
Her brain's not braining yet, guys.
Basically, it's the whole book, and there are notes along the side about the author and about the writing style, and I can't think of what there's a word for that, but I can't.
Biography?
No, I was going to say unabridged, but that was not the word I was.
Yeah, that's the word I was thinking.
It starts with a C, and hubby's not down in the green room to tell me what it is, so I can't remember.
Oh.
But it's usually what you use for a college study book.
Mm-hmm.
I also have.
It's not Cliff Notes, people.
It's not Cliff Note. I also have Alice's Adventures in Quantum Land.
Ooh.
Oh.
Which is very good, and Alice's Fairy Tale, which is short stories based on Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting a new series also on Wonderland. Anything that has to do with Wonderland, I try to read it. Most of the time, I like it. Sometimes I'm like, wasn't as good, but it was worth it. But Alice's Adventures in Quantum Land. Oh, Automated Alice is the other one. But Alice's Adventures in Quantum Land was actually written by a college professor to teach quantum mechanics. It is a murder mystery, though, in Wonderland. And I actually finally figured out binary code by reading this.
Oh.
I really had a hard time
More
with
than
it
ones
until
and
I
zeros,
watched it. I was
guys.
like, holy shit. Because there was ants with beans and ants with no beans. And finally I figured it out. And I went, oh shit, that's binary code. I get it now.
So, Liza,
Beans and
I have a question for
Yes.
you, ma'am.
Yes.
What is your favorite book?
What is my favorite book?
Like, I hands down automatically know what mine is. Like, that's it.
I have so many, but
Is there a specific genre that you stick to?
I really like historical fiction, but I also like
Justin's really big into history.
dystopian.
Oh,
dystopian.
yes.
I'm a dystopian junkie. Wonderland is like, I swear, the original dystopian landscape.
Yeah.
Anything that says post-apocalyptic or dystopian, I'm like, yes, please.
We realized that most of our movie collection was dystopian when we started putting our stuff in categories. I'm like, I like dystopian. Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
That's dystopian. Just so y'all know, if you don't follow.
Hunger Games. What was the other one that I had?
Maze Runner.
God. Yeah. There was another one.
Divergent.
That was it. That's what I was looking for. Was Divergent.
I'm like, I got them all. I swear.
I have the books and I have the movies.
There's adult dystopian books. The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes.
Vox.
I haven't read the books yet. I've watched the series and I've researched a little bit behind the story because they have the actual author on set most of the time when they film for Handmaid's Tale.
Right.
Now, what people they didn't seem to realize in the beginning of the series was the book was written and based off of the 1980s, not current day. They've had to take creative liberties to make it for current day, which I find interesting because I'm like, well, I wanted to see what it would look like originally.
What about you, Cherry?
Favorite what? Author? Favorite book?
Yeah.
The Outsiders. Favorite author, however, J.R. Ward. She is phenomenally fantastic at her. She does her major series is called the Black Dagger Brotherhood, and that right here is actually about. This is one of it's smut, people, but let me tell you,
it is smut. But she loves it.
But the thing about J.R. Ward is she does not write like a typical author. She writes from the point of view of her characters. Like, she will tell you that these motherfuckers live a life in Caldwell, New York, which I need to find out if this is a real place.
It is.
To go to there.
It sounds real. Yeah.
It is real. I've been through it.
But
I don't know if it's
the
what
way
she
that
write
she
about,
writes, she writes, and most of her characters are they're male. Okay, they're all basically souped up vampires. But she writes from their perspective and their point of view. And I have she's got, I don't know, 19, 20 books out. And within the first 6 of the series, I fell in love with every single one of the brothers. And she has offshoots of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. She has other series that she writes about. There's a prison series that she's writing. It's based out of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. There's an Angel series that she's writing. There's a Wolf series that has currently come out, or recently, not currently. But for some reason, I'm just absolutely addicted to how she writes. And I have a favorite brother. I have a favorite mate. I have a favorite everything.
Wow.
I am so stuck in this world. It's not even funny. And the funny thing is I used to be a very avid reader, but when Planet Flipside came to be, and they said Cherry, and I said, oh yeah. I think it had been.
We need to start scheduling her an hour every day. Legit.
Because I don't have time. No, I do, but I just don't take the time.
You don't make
and
time.
I should. A friend of mine actually borrowed the first 3 books of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and I picked up where I left off in the series and started reading that book, and I'm halfway through it, and it took me maybe 3 hours to get halfway through the book. Like, when I tell you I'm a reader, I drove to Arizona. Oh, I rode to Arizona with my ex, and this was when the Twilight series first came out. And I took the last book and I read it in the 5.5-hour trip. The entirety of the book in a 5.5-hour trip.
I read the Harry Potter series in less than a week.
Yeah. It's easy.
I was going to watch all the movies because I started watching the movies before I decided I was going to read the books. And they were good, and I didn't want to ruin the movies, you know? So I'm like, I'm just going to watch the movies. Then somebody at a restaurant threw down a big spoiler. And it wasn't even at my table. It was like 4 tables over. I just can hear. And I got so mad, I actually stood up and yelled at them.
Yeah.
And the books came out long before the movie, so I was reading my children the books before the movies had even come out.
I was working at Barnes & Noble and the books came out. I remember. I just didn't have time for that nonsense at that time.
Funny thing,
and I thought they were kids' books.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, Tales of Beetle Bard. But when that happened, I'm like, forget it, because I had all the books. I was just waiting to watch the movies, and I'm just like, I read them, and everyone kept going, "You're already done with that one? You're already done with that one? You're already?" I'm like, yeah. Her writing is not much more than a 7th grade level.
No.
Yeah.
It really isn't. I mean, it starts even lower. It starts at.
It starts at an elementary school level.
It's about a 5th grade level.
Right,
and the books keep going up. As Harry gets older, the reading goes up. But it doesn't really pass, I would say, 8th, 9th grade level.
No.
But that's good. Because then everyone's going to get the gist of what's going on. You won't
well,
lose
and
your
we have the
readers
complete
completely.
Harry Potter series, and then I also have Ichabod, which coincides with the Harry Potter series, or is that another series?
That's a different series.
Yeah, never mind. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking
Beasts.
about. Fantastical Beasts.
Fantastical Beasts.
Yeah, which is actually part of the Harry. It's part of the world.
It's the preview.
Mm-hmm.
It's a prequel. My before we get way off this vampire nonsense, this is my vampire
Oh.
This is not for children.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She is a graphic.
Dixie keeps telling me I need to pick these books up.
This is really the only one she wrote with the vampires. They're a different breed from humans. It also follows this medium and his best friend who are in a rock and roll band together, and you can tell this writer wants to be a gay man. She really does. There's a lot of gay smut in it, so if you're offended by men on men action, don't read it.
There's one of the books in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series that people were very apprehensive about reading because it does talk about there's a couple in the series, Blay and Quinn, and they actually fight their intentions with each other and finally end up getting together. And it was very controversial when the book came out because everybody was like, "Oh my God, she's writing gay porn now." Who fucking cares? It was a beautiful love story.
I was just gonna say how Harlequin romances was like household porn.
Yeah.
For how long?
You know, they still make them. I walked through Walmart's book section and they still have.
I read a couple because they were in the basement of my house and I was snowed in.
Addicted to them.
They were terrible.
They were God, they were terrible.
I was like in 8th grade and I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But I had nothing else to do. There was no electricity. I had to read.
Usually my go-tos are like J.R. Ward or Janet Ivanovich, and I don't read just vampire shit, people. Like Janet Ivanovich writes this whole story about this girl named Stephanie Plum. Go ahead, sorry.
That's okay. I just want to say one more thing. Poppy Z. Bright and
I don't know, babe. I can't
Interview with Vampire Anne Rice.
There you go.
Live down the street from each other and they hate each other, by the way.
Well, Poppy Z. Bright can't hate Anne Rice anymore now that she's gone.
Well, you know.
But the funny thing about Mel, the Janet Ivanovich books is Stephanie Plum started out, she had lost her job and her cousin is a bounty hunter. So she becomes a bounty hunter because she needed a job that bad.
I love women bounty hunters. I did that for a summer.
So there's a movie that actually came out that was based off the first book. It's called One for the Money. Horrible movie. Horrible movie because they did not do Ranger justice. Ranger is the tall, hot ex-special force or former special forces guy who goes into bounty hunting and consistent. Every book something happens. Stephanie gets abducted. Ranger saves her. Morelli gets pissed at Ranger, and there's only one book where Stephanie and Ranger get together, and I'm like, but stop going for Morelli because Ranger's way hot. I'm a Ranger girl. I can't help it.
See, she's more into the rom-com than she'd like to admit.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. Another author I really like who I don't have here is the original author to the Dune, which was Frank Herbert. He's a great writer, but he does write at a higher level. He does write at about a college level, and so if you're just starting out writing, he might not be a good starting point for you.
I contemplated picking up Dune for the teenager.
I love Dune.
And
I would give it, you know what? That might be a good idea for him.
I mean, and if he doesn't want it, I'll keep it because I love the book.
No, it's about what I was a couple years younger than him when I read it. And it really helped out on a lot of levels. Thinking, I think he could read that.
Oh yeah. I've seen him read college level books.
Okay, I have two more actually young adult books that I want to recommend. The first one is the book one of his Dark Materials is called The Golden Compass, which many people had seen the movie. This is by Philip Pullman. These are politically driven stories, politically, religiously drawn. If you are a very religious person and you cannot deal with people making you question your religion, do not read these books. Basically, the subtitle to these books should be How to Kill God.
Oh.
And and I'm saying that there's just a lot of controversy in the books. There's a lot of controversy about a lot of things, and there's multiple levels, and you're dealing with children dealing with these things.
Mhm.
These are like 12-year-old children.
That must have been why it was on the banned book list.
Yes.
I didn't read it yet.
I read all 3. The first one isn't as forthright about it, but when you get to the last one, you're like, oh, you just realize what all of this led up to. You know, it's like, oh, and it's very it's encompassing. It becomes encompassing. That whole story does become very encompassing. And the other one that I have is, if you have a teenager who liked Harry Potter but probably should get into something a little more higher on the reading scales, try Terry Brooks. This is the Landover series, which is Magic Kingdom for Sale Sold. It's about a lawyer in California who buys a magic kingdom in another world.
Oh.
And it's really, really good. The whole series is good. I think there's 6 books in the series. He also did the Shannara series, which some people watch that on Netflix.
It's been all over different streamings.
Which is actually, that's the 3rd book that they did. I was a little mad. Like, what? Why are they doing the 3rd book? But
well, and there's a lot of TV series out there that are actually book based, like True Blood. I can't remember the name of the actual books, but Charlene Harris actually wrote True Blood. And the first,
that had a different. I forgot that had a different.
Yeah, the first season is actually the first book, and it's the closest thing that I've seen besides when we were talking about American Gods Backstage, that has gone as close to the book without taking a lot of creative liberties. Now there are creative liberties taken in True Blood. Like one of the characters is not supposed to die. Well, he's supposed to be turned, but that's neither here nor there. Charlene Harris actually wrote those, and if you want to get into them, I got to about the 9th book before I was finally like, look, we're getting into too much shit here. We've got vampires, we've got werewolves, now we've got fae. I'm kind of getting burnt out on it.
It's kind of a lot.
Yeah. Now I do have George R.R. Martin's first 2 books from the Game of Thrones series. I need to get the rest of them because I did watch the entirety of the series, and that caused me to actually want to read the book.
It took me months to get through the first the first episode. Oh my god, I was so bored.
This is
and then
the first
it ends
book,
with
and
incest,
look,
and I'm like,
when I tell you this shit is jam packed, it's like the words are so tiny. There's so many.
No, it was.
Wow.
I don't think it was graphic novels. Hubby says I thought True Blood was based on graphic novels.
No, look
I
up
don't think
Charlene
so.
Harris, and she's the original author of True Blood. I just can't remember what the series is called. Hold on.
Because we talked about that the last time I had a White Wolf meeting. We talked about True Blood. It was out. It's been out for a while.
It has been
a while before True Blood came out. The show. Now, if we get into some adult books,
her books are called It's the Sookie Stackhouse stories.
Sookie Stackhouse. That I knew it.
It starts off with they start out with the word dead in them. It's dead until dark, living in Dallas Club, dead to the world, dead as a doornail, definitely dead, altogether dead, for dead or to worse, or from dead to worse, dead and gone, dead in the family, yeah. Dead Reckoning, Deadlocked, and Dead Ever After. And I got to about Altogether Dead before I was finally like, meh! I'm done with these.
Okay.
Now, yes!
What is this? This is
there's
stuff on my book. Get off that. This is my friend Neil.
Aww.
Yes.
This is Neil Gaiman.
Didn't you meet him in a coffee house?
My coffee house, yeah. Actually, I sold him coffee, and then I got yelled at.
Oh,
because I didn't tell anybody. I knew who it was, but I wasn't going to announce his presence in a bookstore.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, sales might have gone up and he might have done an impromptu signing.
Yeah, which I didn't want to do to him. But one of my managers hauled me down that night when they got his credit card receipt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is this who I think it is? Like, yeah.
So we've all heard of R.L. Stine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix recently came out with a series of the original Fear Street.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And I was walking through Sam's about a year, maybe 2 ago.
I can't see it. Oh, that's pretty. That's a pretty cover.
It's another
like
Fear Street book, and I haven't gotten into it, but I'm so excited because I want to.
And one of the things I want to say about Neil is this is American Gods, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
This is
great series as far as the show.
Oh, I never noticed it says author of Neverwhere on there. I never noticed that. It's one of my favorite books by him.
According to Vixie, it sticks very close. The show sticks
very close.
closely
I've
to
read
the
this book like 3 times. This is one of my faves, but my absolute fave is Neverwhere. I think I've read Neverwhere like 6 or 7 times. And I have the BBC miniseries too. Thing about Neil is he writes all different levels for all different genres. Mm-hmm. He's probably best known for Sandman graphic novels. He wrote those, and he handpicks the artist who does his work. Death, his endless are like Death, the Sandman, and Judgment and Destruction and all kinds of stuff. Anyways, Delirium is based on Tori Amos. They're really good friends. And so that's how he started out. So he was and that's kind of a young adult level reading. And then he's done things like Coraline, which is for kids. It was actually written for kids, Coraline, even though it's kind of spooky. It was written for kids, and it is very much like a 4th grade reading level. And but he also does things like this, American Gods, which is a commentary on ancient religions coming to America and being practiced in America, including the Judeo-Christian religion. So all of them are in this book. He has a second book to this series called the Anansi Brothers. Anansi, if you don't know, is the trickster god in Africa. He's a spider. He's a spider god, and he's a trickster god. And he prevails heavily in this first book. And the Anansi boys are his sons, descendants here in America. And I'm hoping he also did a Norse mythology, which I want to read. I don't have a copy of it yet. But like I said, but those are geared more to political, religious histories, commentary. He also wrote Good Omens with Terry Pratchett. And him and Terry Pratchett were really good friends. And they did write the screen plays for the Good Omens series that is on BBC. And he's still working hand in hand. That's another one where I was like, whoa, that went right with the book.
Wow.
The Good Omens on BBC. I keep going out of frame. I don't know why. Sorry. I have a traveling camera. What else you got, Cherry?
I actually have an independent author who published through Amazon. She's on TikTok. We call her Obi Mom Kenobi. And when she let TikTok know that she had written a book, I was like, all right, I'll look at it. And it's called The Pure Blood Eternal. And it's actually about a woman who helps her friend escape a toxic relationship and ends up in the middle of a swamp and ends up being taken in and helped out by these vampires. And she falls in love with one of them. And they're a very different breed of vampire, but definitely if you like indie writers, pick this up. It's a very short read.
What's her name again?
Yasmin Crowley. But on TikTok, she's
great author name.
Right? No, that's her
God.
actual. That's her name. That's her actual name.
But I had a friend whose name was Gregory.
Mhm.
And he said, I want to have more of an author's name. I'm like, Gregory? You don't think
How is that
Gregory
not an author's name? But on TikTok, she's Obi Mom Kenobi. And she actually does have a YouTube channel where she dresses up as a Jedi and she reads children's books.
Yep.
Aww.
So hubby let us in. These are the Sandman comics.
Mhm.
Death, she's the eldest. No, she's not the eldest. Is she the eldest? No, Dream is the eldest. Death is the youngest. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, Destiny, Desire, Despair, Delirium used to be Delight, but then she went to Delirium because she lost her fucking mind. And Destruction, which used to be Judgment, I think. I don't remember. Anyways.
So wait, these are the Southern Vampire Mysteries?
No. These are the Delirium.
These are the
books.
Sandman characters.
Oh, the Sandman characters.
They're called the Endless.
Okay.
Another
Kind
really
of
good
like
book
God's
about death,
Sandman.
now that we're talking about that, is Pierce Anthony wrote a really good series about the Four Horsemen, and my favorite out of the whole series was On a Pale Horse.
You know, you're about the 15th person to tell me that that's their favorite one out of that series.
It is! It really is out of the whole series.
I never read them. I could not get...
You really should.
I'm not into his writing style. I tried a couple of different ones.
It is hard to get through, but at the end of the book, you sit down and you think about it, and you're like, this was really well written. Pierce
Anthony is an amazing writer, but his stuff I do not jive with him. He'd be like one of those teachers where I'd be like, oh man, I wish I could sit through a lecture, but I can't.
Right.
I'll read the Cliff Notes.
Another really good series that I got stuck into was the Ender's Game series. I've read all of the Ender's books.
And
I got the movie, when they put out the movie, it was based off of the first book. And they didn't quite go as far imaginatively as the book does. But when you read the other books, like, it just makes you want more with Ender. And when they put the movie out, I'm waiting for them to do more movies, but they can't because the kid actor is older now, obviously.
No, they're doing the second one.
Are they?
On it. Yeah.
Shut up, dude.
No, I read something about it. It should
be
soon.
My God, that would be fucking outstanding because the first one aesthetically alone.
Well, I'm sure they're probably using some of the CGI that they use for Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah. But it's a really good story, and just the shit that Ender has to deal with. Like, if you haven't read the books or you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, Ender is the one who actually ends up killing the aliens that are in the book. And then in the second book, he literally is on the brink of insanity because he realizes that he was the one who caused this genocide. But it wasn't necessarily him causing the genocide because the people that he was working for told him that they were training to do this later. He didn't realize it was like a live action combat kind of situation.
Right.
And he goes a little insane in the second one. And you just
he's going a little insane in the first one.
Oh, he is, honestly. But the further in the series you get, the more you want to just give this kid a fucking hug, man.
Yeah. This is my last one. This is Wicked by Gregory Maguire.
Loved that. It gave you a whole different side to the whole story.
Kirkus Review says, save a place on the shelf between Alice and Hobbit. The spot is well deserved. This is not a kid's book.
No.
A lot of people think it is because it's Wizard of Oz. This is not. No, there's sex in this. There is there's all different talks about lifestyles. There's lots of politics. It's
and Alphabet is not as bad as you think, guys.
Yeah, Alphabet is depicted almost.
Bitch.
She's more of an anti-hero. She's more of an anti-hero.
She's not the antagonist. She's more the
the wizard is the antagonist of the story. I'm going to read you the back real quick. When Dorothy triumphed over the Wicked Witch of the West in L. Frank Baum's classic tale, we heard only her side of the story. But what about her arch nemesis, the mysterious witch? Where did she come from? How did she become so wicked? And what is the true nature of evil. Gregory Maguire creates a fantasy world so rich and vivid that we will never look at Oz in the same way again. Wicked is about a land where animals talk and strive to be treated like first-class citizens. Munchkinlanders seek the comfort of middle-class stability, and the Tin Man becomes the victim of domestic violence. And then there is a little green-skinned girl named Elphaba who will grow up to become the infamous Wicked Witch of the West. A smart, prickly, and misunderstood creature who challenges all of our preconceived notions about the natures of good and evil.
It tells her whole story.
Birth to death.
Yes.
And then the next one is Son of a Witch.
Yes.
And I like that one better, to be honest. But you have to read this one in order to follow the second one.
Well, and then in the Sun, like, going from Wicked into Sun, hearing the story from the Sun, it kind of kicked me. I was like, that hurts. But Elphaba's side, like, you see why she becomes the Wicked Witch. You see what she goes through, and you start to sympathize for her because she's had to deal with all of this shit just because of the color of her fucking skin.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
And her different, she can't touch water. She has to bathe with oils.
Yep.
She has different regiments. It is very politically driven. The animal, these talking sentient animals, up on two legs, wearing clothes, working on a stage work, are still treated like pack animals, even though
it's very upper class versus lower class. It's very political. It's just a lot.
And there's a whole brothel scene in one chapter. So this is where I'm telling you, it's if your kids are not ready to be adults,
they don't put like that in the play, y'all. I'm just saying.
It's not. Oh yeah, it's not the musical. And drugs. There's lots of drugs in it too. Lots of drugs.
I was going to ask you if this was that play that was like
yes. The play is based on this book, but it's very much a cut down version.
Yeah,
of the play. The music is awesome. I love the music of Wicked. Yes. Do not get me wrong. That is some amazing music, but is very edited.
Yes,
we'll just put it that way.
It's the watered down version.
Glenda actually looks a lot nicer in the play. In the book, you want to punch her in the nose. She needs a broken nose, like more than nose.
Like it's one of those Tyler Durden sayings. I needed to destroy something beautiful.
I need to destroy something. But yeah. So, well, thanks for having us today, Eliza.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
you probably only got one thing out that you wanted, but
we weren't sure what was going on, so we thought we'd help.
You want super stories in text form and want a new world, not DC or Marvel, I would recommend the Mask series by Rodford Edmiston. Unfortunately, it's only on the Kindle library. Which you get Kindle, you can put on your phone, you can put on anything at this
I have it
point.
on my phone.
Yeah.
I have all of the Shannara series. I have a copy of Alice. I have a copy of Alice in Wonderland on every device I own. He's cackling.
What is he cackling about?
Probably Alice. I have a whole shelf that's all Alice in Wonderland coloring books, games, all the movies. I do not have the porn, and I do not have the Japanimation one. But I have
no malice.
Else.
No malice.
I do not have any malice. Alice in Borderlands was good, but it's not the same thing. It's Japanese, but it's not the same thing.
I was playing Borderlands last night.
Sorry. Did you space out there for a second?
Yeah, we did.
We played. Before we get off, we got 5 minutes. Before we get off, we played Splatoon.
We did, and I actually went back and played more last night after it
good.
was probably like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I did go play. I'm at level 4 now. I got weapon.
You're up with me almost.
Yeah, I got
maybe I'm only at 4. I'm at 4 or 6. I can't remember.
I thought you were 5 for some reason.
Something like that. Maybe I am. Maybe we're like 4, 5, 6 with you, me, and Corey.
I don't. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. And then
so if
Angela
anybody
there at,
wants
like,
to play,
20
get yourself some Splatoon on your
Switch.
On your Switch. We can have up to 10 players.
Vixie kept going, Cherry, you're way better than I am last night. So
know.
it's like, I play first-person shooters. What do you want from me?
I got a little icky near the end.
Yeah.
A little nauseous. But I didn't eat yesterday, and I think that might have had something to do. I had a quick sandwich just before the makeup table yesterday, and that was it. That's all I ate yesterday. Yeah. So it was not.
I made baked chicken, well, air fried chicken. I marinated it in Italian dressing and made some broccoli.
Yummy.
It was actually really good. I wasn't mad at it.
Yummy.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about making a new potato salad the other day.
Ooh.
And I know neither one of you can have this, but I have to share. I'm like, I was eating some, I don't even remember what I was eating. I'm like, you know what would be a good potato salad? Because I can't have a lot of potato salads because I can't have hard-boiled eggs. So I'm always trying to like rework it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you took potatoes and you added bacon, cheddar cheese.
Honey, all you're talking about is loaded baked potato salad.
Wait. And to bind it, you use dill dip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds good.
Loaded baked potato salad.
When I made loaded baked potato salad, I use sour cream. I never use dill dip.
I mean, you can use whatever binder you want.
But the thing is the binder. That's the good part.
You're not wrong.
Right.
Doesn't that sound good?
That sounds delicious.
It does. And if the trucker's coming home tonight, I'm not going to be a good kid. Sorry, guys.
I'm just hungry. At this point,
yeah, that's my problem. We started talking about food, and now my stomach's like,
I'm hungry. Yeah. I think that's why I talked about it. Keep the brain. I'm hungry.
We do have the makeup table here in about 30 minutes, and then we have Dollhouse tonight, and we also have Don't Starve Together. So keep tuned.
Oh my goodness, so much stuff.
Yeah, we've got a
big day today. Big day, but that's okay. That's okay.
Next time I'm on, I'm hoping to have my friend Kate on. She's a librarian up in Clayton, New York, and she actually has a seed library.
Cool.
Ooh.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. So that'll be fun and exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. On your go. Let me know.
All right. We can leave.
You can leave now? Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Oh, there are stories to tell. The times we grew and the times we fell. Oh, I've been afraid some days. The road will lead us to a better place. The road will lead us to a better place. When you see the road from every direction, it will give you eyes, give you hope, it'll give you perspective. I've been back and forth, and yeah, I had my crashes. Now I've seen the road, it goes every direction. There are stories to tell, times we grew and the times we fell.